Let's turn to Prince Harry, who, last time I checked, is identifying as a very irritating adult human male. I'm joined now by the author and historian Dr. Tessa Dunlop, former Chief Superintendent of the Metropolitan Police, Dal Babu, and Talk TV's Royal Editor Sarah Houston. Right, Sarah, just bring us up to speed, because Harry's involved in about 1,000 legal actions at the moment against the world. What is the thing that happened today and why is it significant?
Today, a judge decided that...
You are identifying as a woman, right?
I am indeed. Harry couldn't have a judicial review on his request to pay for his own security when he comes to the UK. So when he was still a member of the royal family, working member of the royal family, he was entitled to 24/7 police protection, paid for by the taxpayer. When he stepped down in 2020, he lost that automatic right. He's got another legal challenge, which is about the decision to remove that automatic right. This in particular was about him wanting to pay for it. He made the offer that he would fund it. The Metropolitan Police said, we're not guns for hire. The Home Office said it would be inappropriate. And today the judge has decided that it isn't right. It would set a wrong precedent because effectively you could have all kinds of wealthy people coming into the UK saying, well, we want to hire Metropolitan Police officers to protect us.
But he could still win the review about the basic principle of whether he should be allowed royal protection when he's here.
Yes, and that review looks at the way in which the decision was made and the fact that he wasn't part of that decision. So it's not over yet, and actually he could still appeal against this part of it. But for now, he can't take it further. He does still have... We don't have a date set for the other wider case about him losing his security. It's about automatic security as well, because actually it will be judged on a case-by-case basis. So when he was back for the coronation, he was part of the security bubble. He was protected because he was attending a royal engagement. This is about when he comes back with his family.
All right, Dal, you've been a senior police officer in this country. As a British taxpayer, regardless of my personal feelings about Harry and everything else, just as a British taxpayer, why should I be paying, just on principle, for someone who's quit the royal family, quit royal duty, gone off to America, now makes hundreds of millions of dollars, normally by trashing his family, whatever, you can take a view either way on whether you agree with that, it's not really relevant. But why should somebody who's made that conscious decision to exit both the country and the royal family and royal duty, why should they get such a perk when they come back here of being protected by our Royal Protection Squad?
Well, I think that's a legitimate challenge, and I think that's what a lot of people are asking.
What do you think?
Well, I don't think he should be entitled to that, because I think he's not a working royal. If you're a working royal, no matter where you are in the pecking order, then you have that right to be protected. He's essentially, it's a commercial enterprise now with Prince Harry.
He's a celebrity.
Yeah, so he'll come along and he'll want that, all the resources there. We don't actually know how much policing the royal family costs. So essentially, he's unaware of what that cost would be. So in terms of the process now, he will, if there is a legitimate target placed on him, if there's any intelligence placed on him, he will be, like everybody else, have police protection.
Right.
Specifically for that. But I think what he's asking for is general protection, 24/7, which he's been used to all his life. I think he's now finding it extremely difficult to realise that working as a celebrity, working on a commercial basis, then the world is totally different.
Tessa, why? Why should we be paying for him to have unfettered access to one of the top protection squads in the country?
I'm going to explain to you in a sec why I think we need to flip that question around. But just to answer initially the point, or rather pose another question, is once a prince, always a prince. And I think what's interesting about Harry's case is the naivety, the presumption that everything that was around him, he wore like a second skin. If you have 24-hour security from the day that you're born, you probably don't actually realise where the line is, what's being royal and what's just being a regular bloke, celebrity or not. And I think it's been hard for him to shed that prince skin. He never will. It's one of the reasons why he's a global celebrity. But, Piers, the good news is, and it's somewhere to turn your attention in the future, if Harry isn't deemed to be a sufficient risk to need this protection, and we, the public, have shed that royal skin for him, then I would counter, why don't we start examining the bloated security bill that so many of the royal family guzzle? And incidentally, we don't know how much that cost is. It's higher than the sovereign grant, they think, because whenever people put in an information FOIO in it, they don't get a response.
So you would take away protection... Oh, hang on. For working royals who are day by day doing their duty for the country and in return they get protection because there are lots of people out there that may want to harm them. They're targets, right? We know that they've been attacked before, right? You would take all that away.
No, you're putting words in my mouth.
Well, what would you do?
Some of the lesser royals don't require...
Which of the working
level
royals would you take it away from?
Well, for instance, I mean, did you get hot under the collar, as you have just done now on gender and Harry, about Eugenie in 2009 having a security brief involving...
They don't have security now.
Involving 2 policemen who went with her on her gap year to Cambodia and Thailand.
Just to be clear...
To be clear, that was the
I was
case.
out with both her and her sister recently for lunch. They have no security.
In 2009, she had 2 working policemen with her in Cambodia
2009?
and Thailand. I'm just saying, did you lose
14
it over that?
years.
I know, but I'm saying, actually, we have a vast security bill for lesser royals. Do people like Sophie and Anne need security if Harry and Meghan...
But they don't have 24/7 security.
No.
Exactly.
They have security when they're on royal
But they have
engagements,
security,
when they're on...
and often their properties have 24/7 security paid for by us.
But I think what you'll find now, this whole debate will perhaps look at what is the cost of protecting the royal family generally.
Yeah.
And I don't think Harry has got a clue around what the cost is. I mean, I remember when the Queen and Prince Philip attended Enfield, it was a huge operation, not just the plot team, the specific plot team, but on top of that, you would have had every single venue would have to be searched by licensed search officers. You'd have to ensure
That's
that...
expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. So all of that expense becomes quite significant. And I was talking to Princess Diana's former bodyguard, Ken Wolfe, hugely respected individual.
Yeah.
And Ken was saying it is quite shocking that during this incident in New York, which ironically was days before this ruling has come out.
Well, I don't think it was a coincidence. But
you end up with a situation where they've jumped into, they're worried about security.
put him in a taxi.
They're put into a taxi. No idea who the driver is. And the driver's gone on and sold his story and what have you. They then went back and sat in a police station. Now, if you had...
But these are people that worked on Obama's Secret Service detail, a part of this protection team, apparently.